Dentley that's here to share with us on today. Listen, when I tell you that this man is a very accomplished individual, you definitely want to hear from Dr. James Dentley. He is an author, a philanthropist. He's been in business for over 40 years. This gentleman has been able to make multiple successful millionaires, especially in the multi-level marketing industry. He's had his hands in the NBA or the WBA industry as well. He's had a team. He's got real estate. He's got businesses, things that you all are interested in. He shakes hands with a lot of very important people and a lot of other business-minded people. So this is somebody that I definitely like to listen to. He's very seasoned and poised. So with this being said, this gentleman has come to speak to us today about his history and the blueprint of what successful entrepreneurs even look like. And so when I think about successful entrepreneurs, I could not help but to think of someone like Dr. James Dentley, who has paved the way, who has made a excuse my French, but a hell of an impact in the world. And so for someone of his status and his of his likings, you definitely want to be all ears. You want to be all ears. You want to be present and you want to be all ears. So I brought him on here today to share with us and to drop some knowledge on us on what does successful entrepreneurs look like. What's the art to staying consistent? And if anybody knows, Dr. James Dentley knows. Dr. James Dentley, I am excited to have you here. I am so excited to have you. And I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule. Listen, he had a funeral to go to today. He stopped the funeral. Well, he didn't stop the funeral, but he stopped. He didn't stop the funeral, which he could, but he had to leave out of the funeral to come and do the call. And so for that, I'm forever grateful. Dr. Dentley, the floor is yours. We are all ears, and thank you once again for sharing with our team here at Sequoia Lending.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Mo. I truly appreciate you, and it's always an honor to get a chance to share, because I understand very clearly that nobody really has to listen to me, and I get that. You know, I've been training speakers and coaches and CEOs for a long, long time, and when I train my speakers before I cut them loose on the world, and some of these folks are making over $250,000 an hour. I teach them that when you're on the stage, you are not the star. You are the director, and the audience is a star. And that speaker only has one goal, one focus, is to help someone in the audience get that Oscar. And that Oscar shows up however that accomplishment is for you and what success is for you, it shows up. So I want to thank you. So I want to thank each and every one of you all for having me. Hopefully I can share some things with you that can help make an impact or tweak or plant a seed that if you continue to nourish it, it can really bear fruit to help you achieve your goals and your dreams. Well, first of all, you know, I met Mo many, many years ago. He was a part of a company where I was one of the leaders in that. I knew right away that he was a leader. He was a gentleman who was an innovator. He was an entrepreneur, a gentleman that wasn't afraid to go out there and take the risk, to take the responsibility of to create a legacy for his family and for his community and put it on his back. And I knew he went through some health issues as well. And we also had that in common because I went through some as well. And I'm so proud and excited about the things that he does because he doesn't stop. He doesn't stop. So when he called me and asked me to speak, usually I charge a really big fee, but he's a great kid. So we'll leave that little $45,000 alone today.
Thank you.
But I will not shortchange you, I promise you that, because I have so much respect for what we do. You know, when you step out as an entrepreneur, you're putting things on the line, your family on the line, some of your dreams on the line, some things you create, you innovate. You know, I believe that everything in life happens 2 times. First the thought, then the thing, the mental, then the physical, the inner and the outer. So I'll start like this. If I could ask you all a question, and I'm just looking at pictures right now. So a question, I want you to just say to yourself, say question.
Question.
All right, I have a question for you. If there was a way that I could say how great you could be, would you listen to me? If you're willing to listen to me and give it a shot, just say I, even in your own room or wherever you're tuning in from.
All right.
Good, good. If there was a price that you could pay that would give you the life that you seek, would you be willing to pay that price today? If you're willing to really pay the price for your goals and dreams, say I.
All right.
Okay, very good. Third question. If there was some work that you could do, would you roll up your sleeves? Now you know that work is on you. If you're willing to go to work to achieve the things you dream about, say I.
All right.
Mm. And if there was a promise of silver and gold, of pleasures and treasures and fortunes untold, would you do what it takes, no matter how tough? And would you dare never quit when the going gets rough? Would you build something great? Or would you let it build you? I know you're building a dream, but that dream also has to build you. You know, it's about perseverance, but it begins with a vision. And if you don't mind, I want to share with you a little bit about my story. I want you to kind of understand a little bit about who I am. And I know what Ken's experienced because, see, 80% of success comes in showing up. And people who show up on a Friday night on a call and do it weekly, we're cut from the same cloth. We're from the same vein, the same tree. You know, I've been an entrepreneur, like most said, for many, many years. I mean, even as a kid, I was very innovative. My mother raised myself and three sisters, my three sisters, working in a grocery store in the daytime, a dentist's office at night. So it's a lot of things we couldn't afford, but I was very creative and I found ways to create money. And a lot of times people get stuck because they don't know how to create even more revenue. But even as a kid, I knew I could carry groceries or rake leaves or shovel snow here in Chicago. I know you're in Florida. Don't show off.
I know.
But I always found a way to make money. I had a work ethic. You know, I would go out and get jobs in the summertime as a very young child, even when they were paying me $25 a week or something like that. I was like maybe 8, 9, 10 years old, and taking a public transportation by myself, and maybe about 10, 12 miles back each way. So I always had that work ethic. And when I was 17 years old, I went to every restaurant trying to get a job because I wanted to help my mother. I wanted to contribute. And I also wanted to be able to buy new gym shoes when I wanted them and not have to, and I didn't like the word no. So no simply means go out there and do it yourself. And I got hired in a restaurant chain. And at 17, at 18 years of age, when I was still in high school, they made me a general manager. I was going to school full time at high school, and I was on my job from 6 p.m. and getting home at 3:30 in the morning, back in class at 8:30. And it was pretty cool because I had a nice car, I had nice clothes, and I believe the only way I got out of high school was that my teachers, I made them laugh and they would model my clothes around the school. I always tell people I'm a D average student in high school. I thought I had a B once, but it was really two D's close together. You know, but I got out of there. I did not go to college. You know, my wife is a double scientist and a physicist, geospatial analyst, nuclear power plants, homeland security. She's retired. She's 43. And I've been knowing her since she was 18. And I'm lucky because she talks in her sleep. So my brilliance kind of comes from her and her studies of the blueprint of intention. That's her last book. And so when in high school, I'm the general manager of a restaurant, and then I had one of the top 5 restaurants in the entire country. And I thought I was rich, but I found out very quickly it's really easy to feel like you're rich when you're living at home with your mom. I didn't have any responsibility. And when I branched out, I realized it was not what it was cracked up to be. I became the youngest district manager in that restaurant chain, the youngest regional manager in the restaurant chain. I could look at a profit and loss statement and tell you if your bathrooms are dirty. You know, I learned to see without seeing because I knew the way you do little things is the way you do everything. And even though I didn't do well in school, I do have an honorary doctorate degree in divinity, and that's from 4 years of training in discipleship, 32 weeks per year, and then amongst other things that I've done in that sphere. But I also have a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award for the work I've done in service. I'm the first Legacy Award recipient for the City Gala City Summit. And when I got that Legacy Award, which was the biggest award they'd ever had, I was able to pass it on to my good friend, Mr. Les Brown. And then next year, I passed it on to Richard Dreyfuss, Demi Moore, And the people who were right under that particular award were people like Matthew McConaughey, Ashton Kutcher, and a lot of CEOs of major Fortune 100 companies. And I'm telling you this not to impress you, but impress upon you. I've been very fortunate because I've been able to get into some circles because of my philanthropy, because I had a talent, I was good at something, and they say your gift will make room for you. So it's not that I ever saw it. It's just that people heard about me and saw it and started sharing and spreading the message, and then people would call me forth. Um, as I was managing those restaurants, I got a chance to walk away from that and move to Texas. I used to manage a restaurant chain called Steak and Ale, steak, lobster, prime rib, 7 dining rooms. I had a T-shirt that said "Marry me and eat for free." I had all that hooked up, and I got about 150 employees. We're doing millions of dollars a year. And after that quest, I decided that if I can do it for somebody else, I can do it for myself. So I came back to Chicago and I started a business, and then a second business, and then a third business. And I own some of everything: nightclubs, restaurants, construction companies, import, export, beauty salons, you name it. I was doing it. But when I owned a business, the business always owned me. I didn't have any mentorship. I just had a willingness to succeed, a desire to never give up, and a big vision and a reason why to do it, to take care of my family. But I was just so burnt out. I had a lot of success, but I wasn't happy. I just really wasn't. And I kind of crashed and burned. So I left Chicago and moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and started all over again. And that's when I got introduced to network marketing. It's something I never wanted to do. And somebody tricked me. And after I told them no 3 times, they kidnapped me and took me into a meeting. And this is May 26th of 94. And there wasn't Uber, so I couldn't get away. I don't know where I'm at. And I was about 32. The presenter was 21. And I don't know what made me get started with that company, but we helped grow that company from $9 million to 800 million. I opened up 12 countries for them. I became the number one speaker and trainer in the, well, I would say top three. I don't want to be that bold. Let's say I was in the top three for sure. And I tell you, I earned about $5, $6 million with that company in the 90s. And by January 13th, 1995, I had tripled my income. And that's the last day I ever worked for a living from that day to this day. With that company in 10 and a half years, I made millions of dollars, and myself and 3 other individuals decided to start our own company. We had the first African American owned telecom utility marketing company in the country. And we had a lot of success. We did $500,000 in revenue the first 30 days. And then we didn't understand credit card processing. And the credit card processor locked our money up for 180 days. 6 months, they got all of our money. So then I had to learn how to raise capital really quick. Now I went out and got all the contracts. I was training, writing all the training material. I was the person that if there was a challenge, I was used to handling them more so than my other 3 partners. And we had some success, but I was just burnt out once again and wasn't happy. And I also had a speaking, training, and coaching company at the same time. So I fell back on the coaching, and my partners decided they didn't want to pay me my exit. And I decided I didn't want to sue them. I wanted to move forward. Now, I'm going to fast forward that. I've done a lot of different things on a lot of companies. I own some today. I'm 40% of a tech company in India. I've spoken in about 25 countries. I take people around the world, teach them how to expand their brand. I take great speakers and make them legendary. And, I just have a knack. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, the psychology of communication. I'm going to tie that in because when you talk about the blueprint of successful entrepreneurs, your success, it pivots, it swirls, its foundation is your ability to effectively communicate. And also remember that 57% of communication is nonverbal. So it's not what you say, it's how you show up, how you're driving your brand. I always tell people that marketing can make you money, but your branding makes you wealthy. I've helped about 90 individuals make between $1 and $20 million. In India, with the tech company. In 2017, I created a speaker platform, virtual reality, and I had a patent for it. I also have a patent for a virtual spelling bee for children. In 2020 came around, and this is a little bit after I met Mo, I sold a part of that speaking patent, and it secured us for life. But in the meantime, everything I touched, I understood that how to create money, how to galvanize people, and how to help people who were willing and coachable and had the work ethic and the desire that wouldn't back down when things got tough for them, I was very good at helping people to succeed in the area of making money and developing leadership skills, communication, and how to inspire people. I don't like the word motivate. It's a good word, nothing wrong with it, but motivate to me means you have to push, you have to drive something. Inspiration means that something is so compelling it just pulls you to it. You know, inspiration is when you fall in love with somebody and you just can't wait to call them. And you don't want to call them at 4 o'clock in the morning. You don't want you to think that you're stalking and you lost your mind. So you pace back and forth, you roll and try to go back to sleep and can't go back to sleep because you can't wait to make that call. Inspiration is when you have something or someone that you love and you care for, and you can't wait to do it. You want to do it. You know, even now in my marriage, every single day I wake up and look at how can I make this woman happy all over again. And we have happy, we never had an argument. Every day we have laughter. I haven't had a bad day in about 25 and 30 years. And I'm gonna talk about that because that's gonna tie into it because sometimes things can go wrong and then we tend to go wrong with it. So I'm going to talk about a lot of different things here. And I'll tell you, I've had some health challenges with sarcoidosis of the lungs, where they put me on prednisone they said it would be 4 months. It was 8 years. And that's a steroid. I went from 204 pounds, a martial artist, third degree black belt in Japanese karate, and third degree brown belt in judo. Okay, here it comes, Mo. I used to dance on Soul Train and Midnight Special. I was a dancer, man. I was in great shape. I went from 204 to 374 on medication. Everything hurt, nothing fit. Where I was breathing, I knew the medication was going to shorten my ability to live a long quality life. I have children. I wanted to be present. And the good news, I didn't have to go to work, so I can pay it off that way. But it was just carrying too much weight, man. It's too much aches and pains. Um, I got involved in the health and wellness industry and learned about natural herbs. And I dropped 125 pounds. I was looking good. Suits starting to fit again, doing great. I went to the doctor to get a physical. They told me I had cancer. And it was really, really serious. It was prostate cancer. I had no symptoms. It shows up in a physical. And they told me they wanted me to go on chemo or surgery. And I said, I don't really believe in that unless I'm just going to relieve pain at the end of life. But they said, you can try radiation, but we don't think it's going to work. So I said, okay, I'll tell you what. I'll try the radiation. Let me go and deal with natural products and let's see what happens. Um, I'm 6 year cancer free without any side effects, without issues whatsoever. My PSA went from 62 to a negative 0.7 and been holding for 6 year negative 0.1 last time, holding for 6 years straight. And I'm really thankful. But one thing my wife always tells me is that I never cringe and cry or stop, no matter what happens. It doesn't matter because I understand certain things because of what I teach. And the one thing I understand is that everybody's going to die, but most people don't know how to live. So I always choose life every single day. I choose love every single day. Like people decide not to like somebody, I decide to love everybody because I can love you across the street. So, as kindred spirits, I want to let you know I do not know you, but I love you and I believe in you. And I know there's certain things inside of you. There's trillions of cells in your body that are communicating and they never stop. And they never stop working outside of your mental thought. There's cells that are communicating. There's a brain inside of your body that's driving everything you do. And I'll tell you, it's so amazing to me that we can take a strand of hair, a drop of blood, a fingerprint, and identify you out of all the billions of people in this planet. Isn't that true? But also, we can identify you out of all the hundreds of billions of dollars ever set foot on this planet. They only come up with you. And I really realized that that means you're special and you're rare. There's nobody like you. Now, somewhere down the line, we decide to be like everybody else. Okay, we'll get past that because you are beautifully and wonderfully made. But there's nobody like you. And if you're rare, rare things are extremely valuable for the time that we're here. Because I really believe that your success is someone else's. You can bless the lives of so many people, have an amazing life, see the world, but help other people to do it. See, I've earned 8 figures, just about 9, and that's great. However, I get excited about helping other people do it. because not many people do that. And that's just my jam. That's what I like to do. I like to teach people what I learn. I like to learn every day, and I learn from everybody. So we all have our geniuses. So that's just a little bit of my story, cancer free. Well, by the way, they put me back on a hormone. So I gained 60 pounds back. So I had to fight and try to chop that down. And then I ended up tearing my meniscus in my right knee. So I limped around with that. Then I had sciatica in the back, and I limped around with that. As soon as I got rid of that, I had to have a hip replacement during COVID. And when I had a hip replacement in COVID, I sold some of my patents. We had a contracting company as well. We sold our book of business on the contracting company. And my residual income tripled. It had a residual of like 1.2 million. It tripled to almost 3.5. And I hadn't worked the entire year, did nothing. And I realized as I go back through the breadcrumbs, I realized what I did right to be able to be in that position. Everybody was at home. People were stressing. My wife has been home for many, many years. My son was home anyway. We homeschool him. My youngest is now 12. Um, my oldest is 34. And, we get along every single day. So when everybody was stressed out, we didn't get it. I brought my daughter a brand new house cash and got a brand new car cash because that's my baby. That's my girl. And I don't want to wait till I'm dead to leave it. I want to give it to them now. I want to teach them what to do with it. So I want to talk to you about some things I believe that can help. But the first thing I want you to do is understand I want to call on you to think bigger. And it doesn't matter to me how big you think, because think of it like this. Um, is $1 billion a lot of money? If it is, if you think $1 billion is a lot of money, type yes in the chat. Is it a lot of money?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Well, it really depends on what you compare it to. If Elon Musk just went down to $1 billion, would he be happy about that? Would Bill Gates be happy if it went to Mark Zuckerberg if it went down to $1 million? No, it's not. It depends on what you compare it to. And I choose to believe that in a world that I did not create, since none of us created ourselves, in a world where whether you believe in God or Jesus or Yahweh or Buddha or whatever it is, or maybe you just believe in you, that it's got to be more. So my message is going to be bigger and more. There's always more. There's abundance of everything. And if you don't have a scarcity mentality and a lack mentality, and you'll be able to look at those things and see those things, then you'll be able to create. Do you know that 80% of our life is driven? 80% is driven by our subconscious mind. It's driven on habits. That's how our paradigm is set, in habits. Your paradigm begins to get formed actually in the third trimester in your mother's womb, because there's language everywhere. Everything speaks. Everything speaks. I'm going to quantify that later. However, when you're inside the mother's womb, you don't have language verbally, but you have language through frequency. Frequency is language. Music is frequency. Your heartbeat is a frequency. Everything runs on a rhythm. And that same rhythm that holds us together and keeps us united in this world is the same thing that holds the Big Dipper in the same place every night. It's about frequency and energy. Now, if you know how to channel that, then you'll be able to calm down and you'll be able to see things bigger and realize that everything that is once upon a time was not. If you look around the room you're in right now, look around the room, look at everything really quick. Your computer, you got maybe glasses, you got a wall, got pictures, got things all over there, right? Would you agree with me that there once upon a time that none of those things ever existed? Would you agree with that?
Yes.
All right. Would you also agree that everything needed to create it was already here?
Yes.
Well, how come you couldn't see it? 80% of your life is driven by your habits. Okay. What you live, you learn. What you learn, you practice. What you practice, you become. Now, if you want to move for that, it has to be intentional. 15% is driven by your conscious mind. These are things you consciously do. When you wake up in the morning, your subconscious mind, you just brush your teeth. You don't really do it intentionally. And sometimes you might go in there and floss intentionally. But certain things you do, you just do them. You ever been driving in a car and still like this because you weren't paying attention, but you were still in between the lines? Your subconscious is taking over. I call that the captain and the crew. And then that 5% is where the power is. That 5% is your imagination, your ability to create. So no matter what your vocation is, no matter what industry you're in, I know many people here are doing different things. If you step back and look at it and seek and learn and ask better questions and broaden it out and take the lens off, people always say, anybody ever heard somebody say, think outside the box? Well, okay, what if there is no box? If there's no box, there's only possibility. So whatever you're doing, you have to look at who's the best in doing it and what's missing and what else can I attach to that to service my customer, my client, my friends, my family. Because when people leave you and stop doing business with you, they go spend money someplace else. And I've learned how to find ways to make sure that that pipes through me. But there's certain things you have to do to be able to earn the right for people to do that with you. They've got to trust you. So let me ask you a question. Type this in the chat. What do you think is most important, trust or likability? Right? Type in the chat. Let's see. Trust, trust. Carolyn says trust. Amy says trust. Okay. All right. Carolyn says trust. Andre Jill says trust. Okay. So Jill, let's say you met me at a restaurant or you met me in a club. And I said, wow, Jill, my name is James. We're having a good time. Jill, look, I really like you. Will you give me your social security number, your credit card, and your car keys? Would you do it?
No.
No, you would not do that.
No.
Okay. See, they're both important, but likability is the bridge to trust. If you don't like a person, you're not even getting there. Does that make sense, Jill?
Yep, sure does.
Absolutely. So they're both important, but likability, So you have people we've had relationships with people that you trust, but you stop liking them. Oh, stop it. Okay. So it's about building that bridge to earn the trust. And that is creating your brand. That's creating your brand. So let's back up a little bit, and I want to start off with mindset. Everything happens with the way that you choose or have learned or we decide to think. Okay? Your thoughts impact your words. Your words impact and influence your actions. Continuous actions develop habits. The poet once said, who am I? I'm your constant companion. I'm your greatest helper or your heaviest burden. You can lift me upward or you can drag me down to failure. If you teach me to do a thing repeatedly, I'll do it automatically. I am easily managed, but you must be firm with me. I am the first to all those who are great, and the last, those who are failures as well. Those who are great, I have made great. Those who are failures, I have made failures. I am not a machine, yet I operate with the precision of a machine, yet the intelligence of a human being. But if you teach me and train me, I'll lay the work at your feet. But if you are easy with me, I will destroy you. You can run me for profit, or you can run me for ruin. It makes no difference to me. Who am I? I am called habit. Habit is my name. It's about developing winning habits. And if you're a winning habit, you could be an NBA player and you got winning habits and you're not getting an NBA. But you can be a star player, six man off or six lady off that bench, and it goes to another level. They pay you more for that because you can produce, and you can be the star of the team, maybe the top two or the top three. You make a lot of money and everybody knows you. If you're really good, you get to the All-Star game, but not everybody goes in the Hall of Fame. You look at the book Relentless by Tim Grover. He calls them the coolers, the closers, and then the cleaners. The cleaners are people that people fear. When you walk in, there's an energy, there's a frequency that radiates from your being. It's not something that presses. It's not something that you push. It's not an arrogance. It's really a quiet intensity. It's smooth, but they know you're there. Have you all ever have you ever been out somewhere and you could tell somebody was staring at you and you weren't even looking at them? Energy is very, very real. Everything is energy. Energy is everything. And when you understand how to channel that energy and how to tap in, and I'm going to give you a few little things real quick. I got some stuff written down for you. I'm going to get to that. But, first of all, to tap in every morning, I would suggest that you get up out of your bed. If you pray, pray. If you don't pray, go outside and just be still. You can call it meditation, but I don't want you to close your eyes. I want you to be aware. Bob Proctor, I knew Bob Proctor, and I knew John Assaroff, and I know a lot of these guys that are still here. But before the law of attraction, I believe it's the law of awareness. Now, whatever a person ingests becomes a part of them. If you eat chicken, you don't become the chicken becomes a part of you, true? If you eat broccoli, you don't become broccoli. The broccoli is a part now of you, right? So if somebody's ingesting video games, that can affect them and how they operate. Correct? Because that's all they're getting in there. They're seeing things and they become desensitized or more sensitive to that thing. So if everything you ingest becomes a part of you, when you go outside and you can just be still and listen and watch the trees, listen to the leaves, listen to the birds, see the chipmunks and the rabbits bounce around if they're around you in your neighborhood. Be still and pay attention and breathe and be in harmony. And realize that when you breathe in air, that air passes through every tree, all the leaves, the bush, the grass, the cars. It passes through everything and you breathe it in. And if you're breathing it in, that means it becomes a part of you, which means you're a part of everything. And when you can connect that way, I will promise you, whatever you want to accomplish is going to go to another level because you're in harmony, you're in sync. Please write this down. Things work well when they work in agreement. If you want to enroll somebody or sell somebody on anything, point of view, a date, whatever it is, you have to bring them to agreement. When things are in harmony, if your body on a cellular level, if it's not in agreement, then you have challenges with your health or you don't have a life because it has to operate in agreement. And if you're aware of that and know you're a part of everything, then we can cool on out and know the things that you want, they want you, that you can have those things and even more. But I challenge you and I warn you not to play small because it's not about money. It is not about money. Money is not everything. Would you guys agree with that? If you believe money is not everything, type yes in the chat. If you don't, if you think money is everything, say no. Okay. Money's not everything. You ever heard somebody say, you just talk about money too much? Money, money, money. It's always money. It's not always about money, right? But food is not everything either, is it? Water is not everything. Okay. Try living without it in abundance. So it's not about the money, it's about expression, about how can you play? Because winning is fun, and winning is more fun than fun is fun. Okay. So it's not about money, but if you have more money, can money get you more freedom? Because a lot of people spend a lot of their time working, trying to earn money.
Absolutely.
I say let's get on the other side of money.
That's right.
And then life begins. Because then now you don't work because you have to, no matter how big your house is. You do it because you choose to. Now you can give. Now you can inspire. Now you can take these lessons and teach it to other people and share your story with other people, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You share it all because that will liberate somebody else who's stuck and dressed up and looking good, but it got a hole in their life you can drive a Mack truck through. So when you develop habits that are winning and create new rituals, as you define them, nobody defines it for you. I'm not going to tell you what you got to do these things. I'm going to tell you certain things I would suggest, and you apply them to the things that you're focused on, and then build that out, and then go to the next thing, because all of us will come up short. There is no perfection, and it doesn't need to be. But sometimes people wish everything was perfect. I wish my relationship was perfect. Yeah, but if it was perfect and you're imperfect and you're in it, you make it imperfect. It's like throwing something sour in the stew. If you're not perfect and you put it in the mix, then it can't be perfect. So you just be you and allow them to be them and love them because you chose to, because it affects the way you show up. That's also about connecting. That's also about connecting to your customer, your client, to the investors, the people you want to do business with. It's about the connection. And if you learn to be still, you can speak to them without speaking. And they'll like you and they don't even know why. Because the subconscious psychology is about, and the quiet psychology about communication are very, very powerful. So I'm going to teach you not just to speak into somebody's listening, but how would you like to learn how to speak into their nervous system? Is that cool? I know, look, ladies, my wife calls me someday and say, honey, hurry up and come home and speak into my nervous system. And I come home real fast that day, and that's going to be a good day. All right. So, all right. You have to become self-aware. Self-aware happens in that stillness. Self-aware happens when it's still. And you have to realize that what you focus on is what you magnify. So if you're focused on bills and what you have to do, then you're going to magnify more in that in your life and more stress. Focus on the things that you want that solve the issue. I always tell people, like, for an example, let me what I got here. If a person has, let's say, if they have bills and challenges and things they have to deal with, and they're this big, right? And they have goals, and compared to them, the goals are this big. Well, you can't really see the goal. So you have to make that goal gigantic. You have to make that goal astronomical. So the goal should be this big compared to the issues and the challenges and responsibility being this big. You know, Dr. Benjamin E. Mays once said, it must be borne in mind that the true tragedy in life never lies in not reaching your goal. The true tragedy lies in having no goals to reach for. He said, it's not a calamity not to capture your ideals, but it is a calamity to have no ideals to capture. It's not a disaster not to live your dreams, but it is a disaster not to dream. And it's not a disgrace not to reach the stars, but it is a disgrace to have no stars to reach for. Because when you reach for the stars, even when you fall short, you come down with stardust in your hand. Don't play small, play big. Now, sometimes we have relationships around us and they're not playing on the same level we're playing on. That's why you show up on Friday, because that relationship, that means you're with people in agreement and on a level of frequency and energy, you can feed off each other. But be careful of the words you say. And when people are saying things of negativity, if they like people come to me and they want me to work with them, I tell them right away, you don't cry because I'm gonna deal with the solution. No crying unless somebody died and something tragic happened. We're not dealing with that. We're dealing with the solution. Cry before you call me because I'm not there for that. Because whatever I ingest becomes a part of me. So if I hear everybody's problems, and I accept that, then their problems go into me. Because you ever had somebody around you and they made you feel good because you're around them? And you ever had other people around you that make you tired? So sometimes you're in a relationship with these people or they're related to you. Don't worry about it. That doesn't mean get rid of these people. Don't do that. They're just where they are. That's okay. Okay, they're wonderful people. You create separation by your goals and your dreams. If your goals are to achieve something great, then you're about the business of what greatness requires. And if they want to go bowling on Friday night, that's cool. They're bowling, you're chasing greatness. You're reading about how to become better, and they're watching, House of the Dragons, whatever that may be. You create separation by your dreams and your goals. You heighten the goals, all those things kind of go away. Now, you got to become self-aware. Self-aware means there's certain things you don't know, and that means you can go on a journey. Now, here's the key, and all this ties back into success, and not just a successful entrepreneur, to play above the line. Okay, okay. So when you're in this space and you're thinking bigger and expansive, and I'm not saying that you're wishing and trying to rush it. No, you become the thing and other things are attracted to it, because what you'll find out is everything you're looking for is already in front of you. The clients you want, you already know people who know those clients. There's certain places you can go to find those clients. It's kind of simple. Who are those clients doing business with? Where are they spending their time at? Where do they hang out? Who knows these people? And how can you create enough value to have that audience to get in the room? Are you willing to make the investment to get in the room? I have a program, my speaker training program, my 3-day program is like $2,500. And then if they want to sell from the stage and learn how to make $10,000 to $100,000 in an hour, I got to pay $29,000, but I build out everything for it. After that, I got one for $65,000. That's my platinum. I got one for $125,000. I got one for $250,000. And they go into 5 different countries. They'll be having lunch with Mr. Lamborghini then. We better just to expand the mind and put them in a situation of deal flow. So what you have to do is look at what you do and say, how can I create even more value for this person I want to do business with? And you have to be authentic when you're doing it. Authentic. And that happens when you become self-aware, because self-awareness means you're still and you can listen and you can feel it. Okay. In leadership, leaders are innovative. They figure it out, they find a way. A great leader is also a great follower. What does that mean? That means leaders are lifelong learners. You never know. In life, don't just live it. Please write this down. Experience it. Pay attention. Be still. Experience this only life you get, guys. This is the only one you get. You know, Dr. Norman Vincent Peale was speaking one day. When he got off the stage, a young man came to him and he said, Dr. Peale, that was incredible. May I ask you how old you are? And Dr. Peale said, I'm 91. The young man said, I don't know if I want to live to be 91. And Dr. Peale said, that's because you've never been 90. Look, we're only here for a flicker, guys. Experience it. Pay attention. Be still. Enjoy it. And when things go wrong, do not go wrong with it. Leaders have vision. Little Johnny's in art class in third grade. He's drawing a picture. Teacher looks over Johnny's shoulder and said, Johnny, what are you drawing? Says, teacher, I'm drawing a picture of God. And the teacher says, Johnny, nobody knows what God looks like. And Johnny smiles and says, they will in a minute. You got to create your vision, man, in and out. Van Gogh said, I dreamed of my painting, and then I painted my dream. Man, this is fun stuff if you can get there, but you got to calm down. You got to calm down. You have to have an outstanding work ethic. You read the book, The Greatest Salesperson, about Og Mandino. As one paragraph, it says, see, the average person says, it's raining cats and dogs out here in Florida today. Nobody's going to be out there. I'm not going out there. But the person who wins says, it's raining cats and dogs today. Nobody's going to be out there. I'm going out there. See the difference?
Yep.
It's just a shift in the words and the intention and the meaning. If I'm talking to Carolyn, if I say, the dog bit Carolyn, you can see that, the dog bit Carolyn. I use the same words and say, Carolyn bit the dog. Total different meaning. So you have to give meaning and intention to the words you speak and the activities. And you're not going to be perfect with it, but you're going to be better. And you build on it. You build on it. You build on it. Vision. Be coachable. Be a lifelong learner. Discipline. Tough sometimes, but you do it until you fall in love with it. Do what's hard, you have an easy life. You do what's easy, you're going to have a hard life. Because tough times make strong people. Now, the problem is that strong people, strong entrepreneurs, they like to make easier times because you want your life to be better for your kids. The issue is that easier times makes weak people. And then weak people make tough times. It's a cycle. So sometimes you got to learn how to love them tough, because I call this the bucket and the thimble. I got a bottle of water here, right? And in this bottle of water, I take this cap, I can put water in the cap, and I got water here and water here. So this is the bucket, this is the thimble. Now, you are the experts in your field. When you're talking to somebody, you're the bucket, and you know more than this person who is a thimble. True?
Right.
Okay. Now, can the bucket understand the thimble, or can the bottle understand the cap? Yeah, because I can put a lot of caps in the bottle. But can the cap understand the bottle? No, it doesn't have the capacity. See, in your field, you're the bucket. You have to speak into their listening and listen and find out what is it that they really, really want. What are the pain points, and how do you solve an issue? Because in business, you only have to do two things: solve a problem and fill a need. Solve a problem, fill a need. That's all entrepreneurs do. Solve a problem, identify pain, and I know how to relieve it. And I'll repeat I'll ask you questions about where the pain is, let you tell me. I'm not going to tell you because you'll get defensive. I want you to tell me because you can't get away from it. And then I'm going to repeat it in your own words. And I'm going to paint a picture that your hair is on fire and I have water. And I don't have to do anything because you're coming to me. Because if you don't, your life doesn't change. Your business doesn't grow. Your portfolio won't grow. You won't be able to achieve that. And always try your best to do what you say you're going to do. Your success is going to be on their success, not on how much money you make. How many people have you helped? How many people have you served? McDonald's, it says 1 trillion served. It doesn't say we make billions of dollars selling nasty hamburgers. It's about the service you bring. Okay? Leaders develop other leaders. Leaders develop other leaders. Learn to duplicate yourself. Teach people how to become the best. And that will tie into the culture that you're creating because everything lies and falls on the culture that you create. Now, if you look at the word culture, I kind of wrote it down. By definition, is a group of shared values, that influence how people move. Create a culture that's conducive to getting what you want. But first of all, you got to get crystal clear. What do you want? What do you want? And a lot of people aren't clear. They really aren't. Can I get somebody to volunteer to play a game with me real quick? Anybody? If you will, just unmute. If you won't, then I'll just keep moving.
I'm here if you need
What
me.
type of game is it?
I'm here.
It's going to be a great game if you play. Who said it? Who said it first? That you, Joseph?
Mo?
Yeah, I'm in here. Or I think it was Andre beat me to it.
Okay, Andre. Andre,
Yes, sir.
if you look at your life and how you want your life to teach, I believe you could tell the future if you're willing to write it. So when it comes to your business, what do you really want?
I want it to be successful, and I want to make that $1 billion that you was talking about. Probably
Okay.
more than that.
All right, that's vague, but okay, let's say it. So you make the $1 billion. Okay, got it. After all that, let's say you got it. What do you want?
I guess in the end to be successful and satisfy the people that I work with, I guess.
Okay, you got $1 billion you're still working for and working with people. Okay, great. That means you're not leaving your people and you got something you love to do. All right, so you said successful twice. All right, you're successful, Andre. What do you want?
Satisfy my family and my dreams.
Okay.
To,
All right, so you got to get you successful. Now you're going to the family now and your dreams. Okay. I don't know what your dreams are. It's still kind of vague. I don't know what satisfy your family means. So Andre, let's get clear. What do you want?
a great life, sir.
What do you want? Okay. Every life is a great life. What do you want, Andre? What do you want?
That
What do
great
you
life.
really want?
I want a great life, and I don't want any I guess I would say, and you talked about being a cancer survivor. I don't want any issues in my life. I want them all satisfied.
Issues are part of life, man. You don't plant weeds when you plant grass. They just come up. It's part of it. Andre, what do you really want? That's not even real. What do you want?
Why do you say that's not real?
Because you're going to have issues. You get older. Your hair start thin. I used to have a lot of hair. I used to roll my hair up at night with rollers. Stop it. What do you want? Having no issues is not reality.
Yeah, I could say a great life, basically.
Okay. What does that mean? What does a great life mean, Andre?
Everything that I have be all the issues be resolved, I could say, without me actually spending a lot of time.
Okay. I'm gonna let you off the hook for right now.
Issues.
I'm gonna let y'all. Thank you. Thank you so much, man. And don't, because it's not even about you. Everybody would come to the same thing in their own way. How many people would agree that that's very vague?
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah. But you have to see it from the outside to realize.
I agree.
Now, here's the thing. And Andre, thank you. Thank you, Andre. The greatest human need is really significance. Why am I here? Did my life matter? Do I count? You get all the money, you get the family situated, they might not even be happy. Not to have issues. Let's rich folks get divorced, rich people get sick. Steve Jobs checked out at 58. They took his company for him when he was in his 20s, and he had to go to work for Disney and get it together to learn how to create again. So all this stuff is going on. And what I'm saying is that when you're talking to a client, you're talking to people that work with you, the people you're nurturing, they're not clear on what you want, and they're not clear about your vision. And if you don't have those things, clarity with it, then your culture is going to be a little shaky. It's going to move a little bit in the hurricane. Because the hurricanes will come. You have great life. I don't know if you live in Florida or not. These guys live in Florida, man. It's great in Florida until the hurricane comes. And not so great. Okay. So I want you all to do me a favor and write down on a piece of paper and play with it from time to time. Get clarity. What is it that you really want? Why are you doing what you're doing? why do we get up and walk away from our kids and our family and say we'll be back under the guise that and how many years have we wanted it? And if it's not happening, why? Albert Einstein said, you cannot elevate to another living in your life using the same level of thinking that got you where you are. I don't care if you over hit on this line, you're making 100 million or you're making 10,000. It doesn't matter. If you want to go to another level, you have to invoke another level of thinking. And it's very difficult to do it alone. That's why you must always invest in you. In the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey says, sharpen the saw. If you had 6 hours to chop down a tree, you spend 4 hours getting the saw sharp, the tree will fall. In Og Mandino's book, The Greatest Salesperson, says, I will persist until I succeed. But you know, most people, they go and hit the tree with the axe and they whack, 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 and the tree don't fall, they get frustrated. Frustration is a self-imposed emotion. But if you keep hitting that tree, if you keep hitting that tree, if you keep hitting that tree, will the tree fall? You don't know how many whacks it's going to take. Because some people stay excited for a little while. Some people stay excited for a little while longer. But winners, leaders, successful entrepreneurs, they stay excited for as long as it takes to win. They're for as long as it takes to win. They say they're excited when everything's going wrong. Because right around the corner is everything you want. Was I past this corner, I would toil forward through the adversity. Because the adversity will build me, it will strengthen me, it will prepare me. So when you see it in somebody else's life, then you can help that person out. Because ultimately, when you get to the pinnacle of what you want in your business, you begin to make money from what you know, never from what you do. All of you all have an expertise. Andre, would you agree with me that, how long you been in your field, Andre?
This field, I've been in it for about, I guess 6 months.
6 months. What did you do before that? What field? You were in another field.
Retiree, served military 22 years, Sergeant Major.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you.
Here we go.
The second career, I was a educator, Army ROTC.
Very good.
Taught success.
Okay. So in the military, if I'm coming into if a kid's coming in the military brand new, remember I said bucket in the thimble, you're the bucket, they're the thimble, right? They don't know anything, right? So now you got to get them together, right? So now their life depends upon, and their survival, and the survival of the soldiers next to them depend upon their training, correct?
Right.
But you rise and fall to the level of your training. Trying to shut me up? Am I over? Hold on. You brought me here. Hold on. I'll be done in a minute. Hold up. So now, when people come in the military, you have the training and the understanding that can save somebody's life. And the same thing transferable to other things you do. When you have an expertise, then you can make life better for the people coming behind you, and people will pay you for that. And even in the military, there are disciplines and core values and disciplines and cultures that are created that a company will pay you to come and teach them how to get a culture where you take people from every walk of life and bring them together to make them one. That's how you expand your business, become being innovative. Now I'm gonna speed it up a little bit because I want to talk about culture a little bit, because culture is really about, first of all, what are you known for? And what do you, and whatever you're known for, what do you want to be known for? And write down the good and the bad, okay? Because you can build on that. What are you known for? What is your identity? What do you want to be known for? What do you want your team to be known for? And when you get clarity on what you want your team to be known for, then you can build into that. You build into it. So I guess my point is, man, that you have to build you first, because when we're working with people, no matter whether they're client, we want to take a person from a state of complacency, a state where they hit a ceiling, a state, and some people feel like they're in a nobody state. You got to take them to a somebody state by giving them hope, by inspiring them to look at what if this works, what my life be like, and then mitigate risks as best you possibly can for them. And if you do those things, and I'm dancing a little bit because, man, it would take me 2 days to kind of teach you all this stuff. And I have classes and courses to do it. I do want you guys to know that I launched a streaming TV network 3 years ago called JD3 TV. It's very innovative. It's television streaming and podcasting. We focus on edutainment. I'm talking to Mo about getting some content about his expertise there because it's all about driving the brand and allowing our community to be able to drive more action towards your community as well. I also own a company called Inspired to Speak. I teach you how to speak. Um, we're gonna play a quick game real quick, and I'm gonna be done. I teach you how to speak, and I'll be honest with you, there's no speaker training like mine. It doesn't exist. I've been doing this for a long, long time. It doesn't exist. All of them are good. And then I'm also a knight in the Royal Order. So if you see Sir Dr. James Dentley, I've been knighted many years ago, and now I'm the Grand Prior of Illinois, which is like a governor. And I'm also a baron in the Royal Order. This royal house began in 312 AD when Constantine the Great stopped the persecution of Christianity with a bloody war and made Christianity the religion of Rome. And that's how it got to England and over here. And Prince Raphael is a blood descendant, one of the few people in the world that can give those titles of nobility. And all we do is philanthropic and we do business. As a matter of fact, we're about to build an entire nation with our own embassy. And a big part of that project is in my hands. I am the first African-American baron that's ever been in this royal order since 312 AD to now. There's only 3 barons in the United States. The other 2 are there because I nominated them and got them there. And we've found ways to work together. And we're looking for people who are high character, people who are doing some things, people that want to expand, people who have some expertise, some genius, some people who have some, because none of us have everything. We have to work as a collective. The Bible says one body, many members. You see, the finger can't be the eye, but you need both. You can't open up a jar with your eye. And you can't see the way with your finger. You can feel the way, but you won't see the way. So we always try to collaborate with everybody we possibly can. In philanthropic, we have a nonprofit foundation called Already Always Amazing. Every year, I choose 7 nonprofits and we raise money for them and we highlight them and feature them. We get grants, we get sponsorship, we give them a percentage of that because these are people that are making a difference. Last June 23rd, we honored 13 individuals with the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award because we're authorized to do that as well. And I'll tell you, I'm not saying it to impress you. Remember, I am a D average student who thought they had, what was the name again? Which name? Which name, Andre?
The nonprofit, sir.
Already Always Amazing is the nonprofit. We serve Jesse White Foundation. Jesse is a good friend of mine. He's just turned 90. He just retired in January. He was the longest serving Secretary of State in the nation. And Illinois is the largest Secretary of State office in the nation. So if somebody's running for president, Jesse's the one that helps get him there. We got a ton of Walt Whitman and the Soul Children of Chicago, been around for 45 years. Jesse's been around for 65. And we have a trunk party for 500 kids every year. We just had one 3 weeks ago. We tell the parents, you get your kids in college and we'll get them everything they need, all the supplies to be there. So we got 500 laptops and pads for them and everything they need for the dorm, from toothpaste, sheets, everything. We've been doing that for many, many years. So, and I'm gonna tell you this, guys, I also used to sleep, I also used to live in a car. So it didn't take long, but it did. But it didn't take long once you get the momentum going. I just want you to raise the stakes. Even in your business, it's leading to something else that's bigger. It's leading to something else. And if you think that way, then you have quantified yourself. You validate that you have the right to go ask people for their money and you're going to help them make money because you're making money. So then you say, follow me, not just do what I say. See, I don't even do real estate deals with people that don't own real estate. My lawyer had to have real estate or he wasn't gonna be my lawyer. Not real estate. Don't build me a trust, you don't have one. Don't teach me how to make money, you don't have any. Teach me how to lose weight, teach me how to get in shape, teach me whatever you got, but don't teach me something that you don't own because you're taking it the opposite way. So you have to invest. And that's the beautiful thing about what you do here and what Mo does as he keeps evolving is to get people in front of you. And everything I'm saying may not be for you. Some of it is. Take what it is, guys, and put it in your crock pot. Put it in there and help people to rise and think bigger and broader for your family's sake. And get clarity on what it is you want so you can have your life. There's a world waiting for everybody. And some people have had different experiences. I know that. I'm not naive, and some of you guys are doing quite well. But you know what? Usually, this is something interesting. How many of you guys, out of everybody in your family, you're the one that's a little different?
Right here.
Type yes if that's true. Oh, yeah, I know, Carolyn. I know. Yep. You're the different one in your family. Why? That's why you're all together. And I'm not saying better than. You got your brother's a doctor, a lawyer. Yeah, you're different. Yeah, you're the weird one. You're the black sheep. You're that one. Okay? And be that one. And be that one. Not to discount anybody else, but it's just something about you that drives you to be present here on a Friday night. For me to be here on a Friday night talking and trying my best to share a little bit, it's just something different. And own it. But it doesn't make any of us better. It's just something about us. And if you would expand that and feed that, there's no limits to your living. So, Andre, as a man in the military, we thank you for your service. But now there's more. But the structure helps you and helps you survive. But now the structure can hurt you a little bit because you had to break out and create a new structure. But use the principles. Use the principles. Okay, say, I'm not different. They're just all the same. All right, brother, I'm gonna go with that. That's a good one. Oh, oh boy. Well, you know what? Sometimes we call it the cattle mentality. You got a cows there in the pasture. You've seen this. Cows in the pasture. There's a fence that holds these cows in, and the cow really can lean on the fence and walk over the fence and go where they want to go. But they don't do that. They just go around the fence, say moo, moo, and a baby cow would be born, a calf would be born without any family meeting or any book on how to be a cow. I just follow moo, moo. And, the cow knows that if it's raining or they run out of gas or grass to eat or they run out of grain or hay, somebody's going to come and give them more water, give them shelter, and give them hay because cows have what I call a 401 hay. They got some benefits that's going to save them so they can play average, which is the best of the worst and the worst of the best, the top of the bottom and the bottom of the top. Now, cows have relatives. So you can kill a cow right in front of all the other cows. Doesn't it seem like their mother and their aunties to come and try to beat you up, like, get off of my mom, right? But they don't do that. They say, moo, I told her not to eat so much. I told her not to get that fat. And then there's always this one cow that jumps over that fence and breaks through that fence and starts running. And you would think the other cows would follow them. You would think everybody would follow you. But they don't follow you. They don't follow them. They look out that fence and say, who does she think she is? Who does he think he is? He'll be back. Moo, moo. So laugh at these things. Learn and study people. When somebody's talking a lot about themselves, it kind of means that when they grew up, nobody told them they were good enough, so they have to say it. When people won't follow you, have you ever had somebody you loaned money to and they got mad at you? They're not mad at you. You're just the mirror, and your reflection is what they feel that they're not, and they feel inadequate, and they can't stand it. So when you understand that, you can lead with that love, but be wise, because you can love somebody across the street. That doesn't mean you have to give them everything and they have to be right here, but it helps you operate. So when you go out there to do business as an entrepreneur, you will draw people unto you because of your energy. Every day, I sit at my desk. I would say 4 days a week, I'm going to get a phone call where somebody else wants to do something incredible with me. Every 4 days, it never fails. And I'm so thankful and so blessed, but I just notice I just kind of show up and bring value and I deliver the goods. I make it happen. So get good at that. Hang around the right people. When we're having certain events, I love it. Mo can invite all you guys come down together with certain things we have, our charity balls, or maybe the next knighting investiture. To see some people get knighted, most people never experience that type of stuff. But it's not about the ceremony. It is, but it's who's in that room and who are these people. And it's a very, very special group. So, but you guys are special as well. So look at it and expand it and go back to your own city and expand. And then you look at what you've done last week and whatever that production looks like for you. And you say, okay, how do I make it bigger? How do I create so much value that the customers have to come to me? How do I create so much value that I can sell a little bit more. I can offer a little bit more. That I can create a scenario that if a person says no, that just means no, not right now, because it doesn't make sense for them to say no because it causes pain to say no. See, they want to move from pain or move towards pleasure. But most people would rather deal with a known hell than go towards an unknown heaven. Read books. Mo, is it okay if I send you some of my books for your people?
Absolutely. Absolutely,
All right.
Dr. Dentley.
If you want me to send you a case, or I'll send them virtual, whatever you want me to do. I'll send you a case of books down there.
Absolutely.
Do what
Absolutely.
you want with them, okay? So I'm going to leave it there, guys, for right now. I've been talking a lot. I kind of got off track of what I wanted to talk about. But if you don't mind, I'd rather take about 5 minutes and talk about just communication for a minute,
Sure.
because this can help. And this is what I really do well. There are 4 basic personality types. You could call them different things, but I'm going to call them the shark, the dolphin, the urchin, and the whale. So write that down. The shark, the dolphin, the urchin, and the whale. Sharks are money motivated. They are driven. Okay. They're driven. They like to win. They like nice cars, nice jewelry, power dressers. They're a little abrasive sometimes because they want to win at all costs. They don't care about your feelings that much. They just want what they want. How many of us know some sharks? You know some sharks? Type yes. Then you have a dolphin. Dolphins love to have fun. You can tell a dolphin a mile away. If you see a lady with big earrings, big jewelry around her wrist, or if she puts color in her hair, she's a dolphin. They like colors. They're the life of the party. They're going to always be fun when they walk in the room, but they're going to usually walk in late. They're not organized. The trunk of their car is a mess. Their desk is a mess, and they got 2 junk drawers or 7. Does anybody know any dolphins? Yep. All right. Then you have your urchin, URCHIN. Urchins are very analytical. They need facts. They need information. They need things to start on time. They get irritated when things don't. They need everything in its place, and there's a place for everything. They mainly dress in conservative clothes. If they're an engineer, they're definitely going to be baked in urchin, okay? But they're a little anal. They're like killjoys. They got dry humor. Now, an urchin hates hype, and a dolphin hates a lecture. It'll make their behind hurt. Does anybody know an urchin? And then you have the whales. Whales are nurturers. They don't really care that much about the money, but are you helping people? Are you making a difference? They wear earth tones. They like to blend in, okay? Sometimes they can get taken advantage of, but they lead with love. They lead with their heart. Now, all of us and every person you meet will have all 4 personality types. Okay. Some of us will be dominant in 1, 2, or 3, usually. And the more, when you take a personality profile, the more equal those scores are. That means you have the ability to communicate to people who are not just one thing. There's 2 parts to this. First of all, you find out what your personality types are, and then you become and communicate to what you are not. So you can communicate to a person who wants to hear you. Because if you're talking about money, 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 and I'm a whale, I'm going to shut you off. If you're talking about save the planet and I want to make money, then we have a disconnect. If you're having too much fun and you're not giving me facts, the urchin's not going to listen to you. They shut it off. I'll teach you, if Mo would allow me to come back at a point, how to communicate when you paint. And when you paint, you keep all of them there. You make them laugh, you make them think, you give them facts, you lower your voice, you let them know that you care. It's a dance. The second thing is how to use your voice like the soundtrack of a movie. The soundtrack of a movie bakes the emotion of the scene. It's connected, it's subtle, and a lot of people don't realize that, but that's why you go to some movies and you tear up, or make you laugh, or the drama makes you tense up, or sometimes make you jump. The music is connected to that. The music is frequency, and you have to use your voice like a soundtrack, and you can guide it. Now, if you want to write this down, on the upper left side of your paper, I want you to write loud and fast. Loud and fast creates impact. Everybody say impact.
Impact.
When you set yourself on fire, the world will come out and see you burn. Now, you don't have to say it that loud, ladies, but you raise it up an octave in your normal tone, loud and fast. And if you stand up and do this, I'm going to give you an exercise. You'll feel it in your spine. You'll feel it all through your body. Loud and slow creates emphasis. That's your applaud lines. That's when you want to drive a point. See you burn. See, you can do it. That creates emphasis. You're emphasizing a point. You're creating anchors now. You're creating anchors that can become triggers. So when a person gets a self-doubt or they don't believe it, they'll go back to something you said and it'll trigger back that message. Okay, low and fast is for engagement. You set yourself on fire, the world will come out and see you burn. We only retain 7 to 10% of what we hear on a daily basis, even if we take notes. But when you're low and fast, you're going to know. When I go low and fast, you know I know because I'm not stuttering. And you're going to come back if you want to hear it again. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Okay? You know I know. And that's for your sharks and for your urchins because sharks and dolphins, like they move fast in the water. They don't just sit there and wait for food. Okay? But they need to know you know. And then low and slow is for emotion. That would be your whales. When you set yourself on fire, the world will come out and see you burn. So let's think about a horror movie like Jaws or that slasher movie when it has a black hood on and a big long mask. Okay? Can't remember the name of it, but you know what I'm talking about. So let's say the slasher is upstairs in the room or Jason's up in the room or Michael Myers is up in the room. You saw him go in there, you know he's got a knife. The star of the movie goes up the steps and there's some music that you barely pay attention to. And that music is driving the tension in your body. And you get up those steps and they open up the door and you kind of flinch and they close it and nobody's there. And then your body comes down. Then they open up the shower curtain and then you tense a little bit and then it comes down. And then boom, whatever happens, happens. What would happen if the slasher came out and instead of hearing that tense music, what would happen if you heard this? It would change the whole scene, right? When you're speaking, your voice is a soundtrack of a movie. And you take people on a dance and you touch dolphin, shark, urchin, whale. And when you know what that personality type is by asking them some questions or looking at them how they're dressed, if they have a shirt on and they have something in the pocket, there's pins and stuff in there, that's an urchin. So you got to give them some meat. Now, you don't just stay in one thing, you give them more meat. If somebody's a power dresser, you better talk about success. What's the outcome? If they wear a lot of colors, how much fun is going to be when you get this goal completed? How much fun is it going to be because we're all going to Spain, Dubai, and Italy. Okay? And when you're talking to people, you have to speak into their listening. And you use your soundtrack to teach speaking to their nervous system. You know, that's why I love to teach this stuff because my speakers, they bad. Now, last thing, the brain is what is called an open loop. The brain always seeks closure. Have you all ever been singing a song or been next to someone singing a song and they didn't know the word, so they made up a word? Or they skipped it like the word wasn't even there. We've all done that, right? Yes or yes? All right. The next time you hear the song, your brain is searching for the gap. That's why when I speak, I use a lot of poems because, first of all, when I use a poem, I'm speaking to the 8-year-old child that lives in every grown-up. So on a subconscious level, they could be drinking. I could be at a networking event. They're drinking. When I say, most people don't know how fast they can swim until they have sharks that are pursuing them. But the ones who succeed in life's great race are the ones who wisely set their pace. That pace is not set as fear requires, but every stroke is a product of their desires. So you find yourself swimming in the ocean filled with decisions. You can be guided by your fears or your visions. But not you. You're the ones who will set high goals. You're the ones who will reach high marks because you won't be waiting to see those sharks. The brain is seeking the next verse. It's seeking it already. And that's how you learn things and memorize. That's why sequels work. That's why soap operas work, because it gets you on a journey where you got to see what's going to happen next. What's going to happen to Sonny or Carly, Eric or Kane? What's going to happen in The Sopranos? What's going to happen in House of the Dragons? It takes you on a journey. So sometimes you have to learn how to speak until the open loop kicks in, so they want to see what's going to come next. It's about understanding how the brain works. There's a lot of other psychologies that I kind of teach in that, but that's for another time. But I wanted to give you a little bit of that, the personality types, the soundtrack, and open loops. And if you would practice that type of stuff, you're going to be better as a communicator. And practice on your spouse. The last thing is practice being with someone, being present. That's when my wife and I have in my class, I get people to stand this close to each other without touching. And all they do is eyeball to eyeball, no smirking, no laughing, no grinning, relax your shoulders, no fidgeting, and just relax and let somebody see you. Because a lot of people don't want to be seen and they flinch, they look away. You got to learn how to be present with someone because that means you're saying they're important. And let them see you. It's not about staring to them. Let them see you. Relax. If a person can't handle it, they'll get nervous in their body and they're going to do business with you because they haven't experienced that they haven't had before. Because you get a chance to take a person on a journey, even in your business, within themselves, that they can never go on by themselves. All right, so you told me to speak for 90 minutes. I'm wrapping it there. I'm sorry I'm dancing around a little bit, but
No,
get
you're
a
not.
little excited.
That was excellent, excellent, Dr. Dentley. Thank you so much. I got a lot out of this, Dr. Dentley, and one of the things that I'm hearing you say when you talk about the consistency and staying consistent, I heard you say calm down. When things go wrong, don't go wrong with it. I heard you say find the pain, right?
Yep.
These are the things that that we need to hear, because as entrepreneurs and business people, one of the things that I'm seeing even on my team, Dr. Dentley, is sometimes people aren't performing, in their top tiers, in their top, in their top capacity, because things are going wrong in their life, and they're allowing those things to consume them, where it now takes them off track of what really matters. So
Yeah. You know what, Mo? That really comes down to personal development. You can't. No one reaches their full potential by themselves. Not Michael Jordan, Byron. Uh, Everybody has to have mentors, coaches, somebody to help guide them, because we have blind spots. It doesn't mean they're inadequate. It means they want to become better. And you got to get around people that can help you, because I have coaches. Mo, have you met Jeff Hoffman?
yes, I didn't meet him in person, but I saw him on one of your channels.
Yeah, he's he was one of the co-founders of Priceline.com, Booking.com, Ubid.com. He's got Emmys, Grammys. He created, when you go to the airport and get your boarding pass, he created those kiosks. Wow. He's on my board. He's one of my closest friends, but he's the nicest, calmest guy. Fun for him is, let's go travel around and help some people. Wow. It's just that simple. And before you go asking for money from people, build a relationship. Build a relationship. Don't even go in there that way. Now, unless you go in with a business plan and that's what they do, then yeah, go in there. But if you build a relationship, there's a shift there, because even if you don't get the funding, they'll be glad to give you some advice that can help you on your way to be able to secure it or grow into who you need to be and what you need to have to get what you want. I turn down money from companies because I don't want to be in business with everybody. So my network, I put almost $2 million of my own money in. And I'm real focused on that, and with the other stuff I do. With speaker camps, I can do $1 million a year doing that. And if I don't want to do it, I don't have to do it. Now, I'm not bragging. I'm telling you that I teach you how to do it, because in my world, I've only created success by helping other people become successful. It's fun. They're my best friends. And then I can borrow money from you and you won't tell me no. If I don't need it, I'm going to ask us to practice.
Dr. Dentley told me yesterday, I said, I'm not going to ask for a couple of $1,000 from you, Dr. Dentley. Don't worry about it. I'm going to ask you for at least 300,000. He said it'll still be the same no from the.
Yeah, well, let me say you got to go get it. So I'll leave you with this, guys. Stand before your dreams, every woman, every man. In times of trials, always believe that you can. And if you fall, know again you will rise. When you feel weak, you focus on your prize. So by your faith, keep walking towards your goal. By your faith, keep talking from the depths of your soul. Mo Cannon has put this thing together for people like you and me. Once taught, twice learned. Follow, keep plugging in. Over time, you'll see. Never turn away from your dreams. To turn away is a sin. You got to follow those dreams until you win. I remember I asked God, just give me one more chance before I die. And I spread my wings and I learned to fly. You got people like Mo and all of you holding up your end. When you stand on the shoulders of greatness, I promise you will win. So just keep working hard, keep doing what's right, keep working that plan until that plan takes flight. It's time to grow up. It's time to show up. So the whole world will see there is power in that dream. It's alive in you like it's alive in me. So these are your dreams and your goals, and you must defend. So just follow your dreams until you win. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Mo, I'll give you next week when you have your meeting. I'm gonna give you a free gift, and you can decide if you want to give it to these folks. Matter of fact, I can give you some free 5-day cruises as an incentive. Now, if you put together a incentive program for your people, all they'll pay is port fees and taxes for 2 people, 5-day Caribbean cruise, 4 cruise liners, and 5 days, 4 nights. And I'll give it to you as courtesy of JD3 TV.
Thank you so much. I put it in the chat, Dr. Dentley's book. His latest book is Time to Win. I want you guys to get a copy. Is that one of the books that you wanted to share with us, Dr. Dentley?
No, I'm going to give you, not that one. That's exclusive. You know what? Let me tell you this. When you write a book, I don't try to make $1 million with a book. It takes too long. My books, I usually give them away as gifts. The book I want you to have is called The 5 Frequencies of High Performance.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
5 frequencies of high performance. You want to stay there. Because the 6th frequency is, I'll be doing a rewrite on it. We're about to launch the 6th and the 7th, and the 8th frequency is powerful. And that's how you tap in. And you just, when you walk in the room, it's like Michael Jordan. You just got a glow around you.
All
right, guys. I got
any questions?
What, say it again?
Dentley before he leaves?
Yeah.
Any questions for Dr. Dentley before he leaves?
I had one.
Sure.
Deantrane's kind of gave me the answer, but it's you had low and fast, low and slow, but I missed out the key words for loud and fast and loud and slow.
Loud and fast is impact.
Impact.
Impact and yeah. And loud and slow is emphasis. So this is how you practice it. This is how you practice it. Remember in school they taught you A-E-I-O-U. Remember that?
Yes.
A-E-I-O-U, right? So if you're in a room, are you in a room where you can speak loud? You by yourself?
Kinda. Yeah, I can.
Okay. All right. Repeat that to me loud and fast. Say A-E-I-O-U.
A-E-I-O-U.
Do it again. A-E-I-O-U.
A-E-I-O-U.
Do it again. A-E-I-O-U.
A-E-I-O-U.
Now, relax. Can you feel your body in your back a little bit tingle?
I feel a little vibration down
There you
the
go.
center of my body.
Now do this. Say A-E-I-O-U.
A-E-I-O-U.
All right. Every time you go one, you pay attention to your body, because when you feel, you're transmitting your energy out to your whoever you're speaking to. That creates emphasis. Now go this. A-E-I-O-U. A-E-I-O-U. Try it.
A-E-I-O-U. A-E-I-O-U.
You see how your body calm down?
Oh, much.
Now watch this. A-E-I-O-U. Do that.
You'll make me rap now. A-E-I-O-U.
That's that Ladies Love Cool J section right there. You calm down, and now you're in state. And when you're in state, you can operate from your energy force and how to transmit it. In the book Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill talks about sexual transmutation. Has nothing to do with sex. It's about the ability to touch a person authentically. But here's the thing. If a person can see, if I can read you, I know you can read me back. It's not a manipulative thing. You can't get away from it. So when you go there, be there. Be there, because most people are trying to feel different. And, I always tell people, separate how you feel from what you know to be true. Feelings don't mean a lot. Anybody ever felt like they had their heart broke? But if your heart was broke, you'd be dead. Oh, so you're just in the story. So change the story. It's yours.
Awesome. Awesome.
And change the way you tell the story. A-E-I-O-U. A-E-I-O-U. Got it?
Thank you so much.
All right. You guys ever want official training? Let me know, man. I this is what I do.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
How do you get that shirt to have no wrinkles? I know it's linen. Not one wrinkle is in that shirt.
Okay, I'm not touching that. The tempo. No, it's not.
Hey, Alan, is Alan still on the call? Alan, I want, after this call, probably in the near future, I definitely want you to connect with Dr. Dentley as well. Dr. Dentley, thank you so much for your time, sir. And we thank you for your advice. Alan, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Alan.
Yeah,
Hey, well, hi, how you doing, Dr. Dentley? How are you?
phenomenal. Just call me James, man.
Hey, James.
Look, my official title is His Excellency, Baron of St. James of Cappadocia, Sir Dr. James Dentley III. So
That's
just
too
call me
much.
James, because that's too much.
I gotta
That's
remember
my
that.
wife's pet name for me.
I gotta remember that. Well, thanks a lot, James, for all the information. Definitely, there's something that we definitely is very, very inspiring. So, love to have more connection with you. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, Mo can just make that happen, man.
Yeah, I want to get you guys in a room together, Dr. Dentley. Okay, you too. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do
Appreciate
it, baby. Let's
All right.
do it.
Thank you so much.
All right.
You all.
Bless you guys.
All right. Thank you. We're
Bye-bye.
going to stay on the call. Remember, as we do every Friday, guys, we do an after call. I want to thank each and every one of you all for showing up in this call. And remember, I'll see each and every one of you all at the top. See you later.
All right. Take care, Mo.